I've got something rather embarrassing to tell you about my Porsche 911 GT3 RS. So I've had it for quite a few months now, but I've only managed to do, look, 572 miles in it so far, which means it's not run in, which means I can't thrash it yet. In order for it to be run in, I need to have covered about 1,000 miles. So I'm really keen to do that. So what I'm going to do is take this car on an extended road trip over a couple of days, drive it from the Cotswolds all the way into Wales and go trying a load of different roads. And I thought, I know what I should do. I should also take along my Audi R8 Spider so I can actually compare these two cars on a long road trip. But which will be the best car for the job? Let's find out. Before we get into this video, let me just explain to you the running procedure for this car. According to the manual, all you have to do is keep the car below 7,000 RPM for the first 930 miles. So you can rev it all the way to 7, just don't go past there until you've hit 930, then go for your life. However, ages ago on the launch of the 911 ST, I was speaking to Andreas Preuninger about the best way to run this 911 GT3 RS in. And he said, what you probably really want to do is for the first 250 miles, keep it below 3,500 RPM. Then for every 150 mile interval, add 500 RPM. So I did the maths, and that meant it wouldn't be running for a very long time, like well over 1,000. So I was wondering whether he was thinking in kilometers rather than miles. So I assumed, yeah, he was. I'll follow his procedure, but what I'll do is for every 100 miles, I'll increase the revs by 500 RPM. So at the moment, I'm allowed to rev it to 5,000 RPM. When I reach 650 miles, I can go to 5,500. But to give you an idea of what it's like revving to 5,000, it's still pretty quick. Look, so second gear, in fact, let's go into first. It really starts to come on just after 4.5, and that's easily quick enough. I'm not absolutely mashing the accelerator, but it's definitely pulling hard. It feels so good. Oh, here's the R8. Another thing you want to do, according to Andreas, is you don't just sit there and do your miles on the motorway with it in 7th gear. Better to do it on some twisty roads, lots of different engine speeds, so going through the gears. Definitely don't hold it in too high a gear and make the engine like struggle, that's really bad. But work the car, get it through the gears, and let all the bits and pieces of the engine just bed in. Do you know what this running in procedure reminds me of? It's a little bit like when you had an advent calendar in the run up to Christmas as a kid, and the excitement as you opened each door, steadily making your way to Christmas Day. And Christmas Day will come in this car when I can rev it all the way to 9,000 RPM. Till then, 5,000's feeling strong, but hopefully by the end of this road trip, I'm going to be able to actually thrash it to the red line, like I can the R8. I've got a bit of bad news. This is my last ever road trip in this wonderful Audi R8 because it's going back. Good news to someone else is that they're going to get to buy it, just to prove that this car is absolutely clean. Look, I've run a car vertical history check on it and there's nothing coming up as dodgy. Of course not. However, that is not the case with every used car because there's plenty out there with a dodgy past. Take a look at this Audi A6, for example. While it's fine for theft and there's no issues over finance, there's a warning against damage. Now, this is what the car looks like in the advert. Fine, right? However, this is what it was like when it had an accident. So Car Vertical sometimes has photos of cars when they've been damaged, so you can see the damage to them. And I tell you what, I wouldn't have known just looking at the picture after it had been repaired. But there is no way I would want to buy that car. That's why it's super important that whenever you're buying a used car, you do a Car Vertical history check. Now, if you want to do that now, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to go to Car Vertical and use the code Watson for 20% off. Now, you can also click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or if you're watching on smart TV, just scan the QR code with your phone to go directly there. However, if you're watching in another country other than the UK, still go to your local Car Vertical and the code Watson will still give you 20% off. Hurry though, because that code won't last forever. So make sure you use it, and make sure you use Car Vertical to check out the past of a car you're thinking to buy. And of course, if you've already bought a car, never checked its past, make sure it didn't look like that Audi A6, because you probably won't want to be driving yourself or your family around in a car like like that. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I want to show you one of the annoying things about the GT3 RS's aero. So if you look down here, you can see that little stones just gather. There's bound to be some more down here. Yeah, look, stones in there. Can you see the stones in there? You see them through there? Like that. Moving down here, there's bound to be some in here. Yeah, look at this. Come around here. So see that? Constantly getting stones out of the car. And let's just check the bit at the back. Any more? Yeah, look at this one. It's like a boulder. All the stones. Oh, another annoying thing about the GT3 RS is people constantly honk at you when they see it. It's a problem when you're filming. Other than that, I quite like it. I've now just clicked over 650 miles, which means I have an extra 500 RPM to play with. So, 5,500. Oh, that's a bit fast, but who cares? Oh, let's slow it down again. Let's go through the rev range. Here we go. Oh, it really starts to pull just there. I want to rev it further than 5.5. It's so quick though. There's enough revs to play with now to enjoy it. I'm now in Wales. The roads have got smoother. They are nicer, they're clearer. And we've got Welsh writing on the roads. This is going to be fun. I thought the suspension would be too hard for British roads, but actually it's surprisingly good. And now we're into a 20. And actually in a 20 it's quite easy to drive as well. Just put it in auto, let it do its thing. I do feel a little bit conspicuous driving around town in one of these, but I don't mind it. Oh yeah, biker boy likes it. I'm really experiencing all the downforce now. Right, let's get into manual. Just need to get past this Land Rover. This is the kind of environment where you expect to see a Land Rover. Oh, that's one thing you have to watch out for, things like that. Branches on the road, because it's so low slung, you don't want to damage any of your aero. It's so funny that this particular road is actually a 60. It's madness, isn't it, when you think about it? I thought by now I'd be wanting to switch into the R8 for a bit and just have a bit more of a chill, but I don't find this any less comfortable than the R8, really. Right, we've got a Volkswagen Golf R Estate ahead of us, so he's probably not going to want to let me past. Or maybe he'll understand and just go, yeah, go on, have some fun. Here we go, here's the test. Oh yeah, nice. Thank you, mate. That's what you want. I was expecting him to put his foot down. Go, I'll show you in my Golf R with 310 horsepower. Although, probably be able to drive it as quick as I can drive this down these roads. They're kind of good for that thing, the Golf Rs. Unfamiliar roads, plenty of grip, easy to drive. The thing about this though is just the precision and that noise. It's never grating, never annoying, just lovely. Oh, it's like a blooming racetrack, this surface. Oh, and here we go. The fun has now ended. That lorry. Oh, damn it. This is the kind of thing that you find in the south of France, like the Col de Vence or Col de Turini. And here it is in Great Britain, but classic in Great Britain. Someone's driving an HGV up it. Oh. I've done almost 200 miles today already, and at times I've been quite close to cars in front in order to get past them. And something's happened. Come have a look. On here, there is a little chip. That is a stone chip. Fortunately, I have PPF on my car, and so it's protected the lacquer on the carbon fibre. Otherwise, that would be a nasty little chip. Good old PPF. Definitely worth it. Thanks to Harriet Onyx. I'm almost at the 750 mile mark, which means an extra 500 RPM, 6,000 RPM, which is the red line in quite a lot of cars. Come on, give me the mileage I want. Unleash 6,000 RPM, come on. This is like the longest mile ever. There it is, 750 miles, 6,000 RPM achieved. Unfortunately, I haven't got the space to enjoy it. This doesn't seem like a particularly good way to have come. I'm just driving round a reservoir. It's mighty pretty though. Part of me thinks I have to go this way, but another part of me thinks it's going to be bad. Aberystwyth, Var Mountain Road, that's where we want to go. This is a car designed for the racetrack, not necessarily roads like this, but it's not doing badly. In some ways, I'd maybe rather be my GR Yaris for this section of road. I'm in what I'm in, and so far I've really enjoyed this. Just going to be a bit careful, because the last thing I want to do is hit a pothole with these magnesium wheels, because they're about £20,000 a set. They're 6,000. Finally. This is amazing. Whoa! Ah, no! Listen, you can go over there in rubble with your old Toyota. Right, it's day 2. Let's see how many miles I've done so far. Have a look in there. Have a look. What's it saying? 803 miles. It's not far to go now, but I've got an even worse stone problem. Look at all the stones in here. Just look at this mess. Look at all that. And if you think that side's bad, come and have a look at this side. Even worse. Oh no, oh dear. Now what I'm actually going to do is jump in the R8 for a bit, have a drive in that and see how it compares to the GT3 RS. Speaking of seeing how it compares to the GT3 RS, I reckon we should do a cold start comparison. Go on then, take it away. Nice. You really notice the difference as it comes off cold start. Start it up. Little blip. I've got to say that's a win for the Audi R8. Look, now this has gone off cold start. The Audi R8 has a better cold start. It's true. First thing you notice jumping out of that GT3 RS into this R8 Spider is the fact that this feels like a much softer car, even though it's still a supercar, and it certainly sounds like a supercar. And one of the things I love about the Spider is that with the roof up, you can actually lower the back window so you can hear the induction noise even more. And this car has an amazing sounding engine, so have a listen to this. When you have it under load in high gear, you get this noise. Oh, it's so good. And then if you want to rev it out, it screams as well. Oh my God, this thing has some pulling power. 5.2 litre, naturally aspirated, V10, 620 horsepower. It doesn't have the snappy throttle response of that GT3 RS, and it doesn't have such a harsh edge sound to it either. But there's a variety of sounds throughout the rev range and depending on the load on the engine, and it's such a great instrument to play with. And the automatic gearbox is dual clutcher. It's fast, it's responsive. It's not quite as bang, bang, bang as the Porsches, but it's lovely. And if you want it to be in automatic mode, it's nice and smooth, but I always tend to drive in manual. The only thing I'm really missing is the clicky magnetic panels in that 3RS, because these plastic pedals just don't do the car justice. Those metal ones in the Porsche are just gorgeous. Anyway, the main reason I got the R8 as a Spider is so that I can get the roof down, and I drive it so often with the roof down. As long as it's not raining, the roof is down, and then you can enjoy the sound of that engine even more. Such a great all-round supercar, this. Oh, and it's got so much traction. That four-wheel drive system means that you don't have to worry so much about tyre temperatures like you do in that 3RS, because it'll step on you if you touch the throttle. But this, because you can send power to the front, gives you more confidence. It's responsive, this car, as well. Handles really well. Steering's pretty good. It's nowhere near as sharp or as agile as that 3RS, and you notice that it just seems a bit heavier and there's more understeer in it, but it's still good. It's better suited to a wider variety of roads, and it's still sporty enough for you to have a lot of fun, and you can go so quick in it. You also don't have the stress of going, oh no, is it going to bottom out? Do I have to use my nose lift? There's none of that in this. And the seats, they are more comfortable. Now, that does depend on how tall you are. You see, for this Spider version of the R8, Audi had to move the bulkhead forward slightly so they can fit the roof mechanism in. As a result, there's not much legroom here in the front. So if you're a little bit tall, or actually if you've got slightly longish legs, you're going to struggle in this car. I've got short legs, so I'm just about fine, but there is an absolute compromise with how low I can get the seat and how far back it can go. So it's not perfect, and I think a lot of people will be put off this car by the seating position alone, and that is a shame, because it's a really good car, and that engine, so fast, so characterful. It's a shame that it's dying out. Anyway, here's something I can't do in my GT3 RS yet. Launch control. I spun up and then cut a bit back. There we go. I'm looking forward to launching that GT3 RS, but apparently you have to wait till like about 500 miles after the running period till you can do it. That's according to Andreas Preuninger. I forget how good this is. I kind of take it for granted because it's my daily, but it is so very good. But it just doesn't have that sharp-edged motorsport feel to it that 3RS does. And the 3RS is more painful to live with, but you can live with it. You just get so many sensations through it. The responsiveness of the steering on that 3RS is just on another level compared to this car. And that's saying something because this is still a really impressive supercar. Gotta say, I'm much less stressed doing these kind of manoeuvres in this R8 because I don't have to worry about ground clearance, the visibility is better. It's quite interesting that the visibility is actually better forward as well. That 992 3RS just seems a little bit big. It's funny, like my 996 is just so much smaller. The 911 has now grown to be quite a big car. With its wide body, takes up quite a lot of space on the road. This is so easy to drive quick. It is funny that one of my favourite noises is just high gear, low speed, get this sound. Oh, it's such a good sound. This sounds better than the 3RS. I love the sound of the 3RS and I love its engine. And overall I think I prefer the 3RS's engine, but the sound of this is incredible. I'm going to miss it when it goes back. Oh. This is just basically a few minutes of me having an eargasm about the sound of the R8 B10. I've just had an absolute blast driving the R8 on this wonderful bit of road. So what I've decided to do is get a bald man to drive the R8. Hello, bald man.
I am a bald man.
You are a bald man. And what I'm going to do is jump in the GT3 RS and we're going to see just how much fun that car is when you find the right road. Here we go. Oh, first thing I noticed, the suspension's firmer, a bit more bouncy, but the damping in it just seems more sophisticated. So it actually doesn't feel uncomfortable. It just feels sorted. And that throttle response and the response of the gearbox with those clicks, oh, it's just a joy. And revving to 6, it's enough. Oh. The front end on this car is on another level. It is so good. What an absolutely amazing thing. And it just stays so flat. I had to dodge a little pothole there and I was just able to jink out the way of it. Obviously I'm having to watch out for the potholes because of the expensive wheels. Oh, and what great views. I mean, I don't know if I've got space to actually rev it out even if I could. Oh, maybe there. Whoa. Yeah, do you know what? Overall, it's not as comfy as easy as the R8, but it's worth the sacrifice. And I actually think I could daily this because every drive in it is just so special. Feelings that you get from the car through your bottom because of this wonderful carbon fibre sports seat. The fact that the chassis is so blooming stiff and responsive. That engine is just glorious. It's so snappy. The torque is incredible for a 4-litre naturally aspirated engine. Oh, and it rips! And I haven't even unleashed its full potential yet. This is my favourite engine in the world. And out of all the cars I drive, this is my favourite. And I have to say, I'm one lucky bugger to own my favourite car in the world. I can't think of anything I'd rather have. I love my GT3 RS, and I'm going to love it even more when it's fully running. I'm at 849 miles. Once I hit 850, I can increase my revs by 500 RPM to 6.5. Come on! There it is, 850. Now let's have 6,500 RPM. Oh, yes! It really starts pulling higher up in the rev range. That's one of the things about the engine in the GT3 RS. It's got a different cam profile than the one in the normal GT3. So it has slightly less torque, but it pulls harder at the top end for more peak power. And you really feel it just rush to the red line. Not in this car you don't, because I haven't got to the red line yet, but I know about 6,500, it's really starting to just go for it. Oh, it's such a tease. I'm only 100 miles away from increasing it by another 500 RPM to 7. And really, in theory, according to the car's manual, once I'm over 932 miles, I can rev it all the way to 9. For now though, 6.5. Let's do it from first. Oh, lovely. One thing about the GT3 RS is that it gets a lot of attention. Have a look. Hello, just come out to see us.
Hi.
Hello.
You're from Carwell?
I'm from Carwell, yeah.
That's what you were saying, actually.
Oh, okay, well, you're on camera.
All right.
Hello, were you looking at the car?
All right.
Yeah.
We were looking at the car, actually, to buy it.
We'd like to buy the car.
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to have a look at it? Do you want
after one car now.
to have a look at it? What's your name?
Valis, V-A-L-L-I-S.
Valis, there you go.
Is this your own car?
Yeah.
I did watch the video of you getting it. Mate, it's so nice.
Do you think that I've parked too far from the curb here?
No.
I'm a bit concerned about curbing those wheels. Yeah, so
What are you doing in Raider?
I'm here to run the car in. It needs to do like 932 miles to be running. I'd had it for months and I hadn't run it in, so I can't rev it out. And so I've come all the way out to Wales, all the way to Aberystwyth, to run it in and have a drive and have some fun in it. And it's been epic.
The roads around here are very nice.
The roads around here are so much better than around where I live. You have much better roads in Wales. They're like smooth, really well maintained, beautiful. Don't come to Wales if you're wanting to drive a car because I don't want too many people enjoying it.
20 miles per hour.
20 miles, there's lots of 20 miles an hour, but that's fine because it's in town. But outside of town, it's all pretty good, I think. I'm gonna get something to drink. Or I might just go steal it now you're all out the shop. I'm gonna go steal some things. What can I take? What can I take? Why am I going for these things? I've just been driving, the car's developed a strange noise, like a... I'm gonna see what it is. I don't think it's engine. There's lots of stones in there. Can you see? Oh, wonder what it is. All right, I'm going to go for a bit more of a drive and see if I can figure out what it could be. So I can't see anything. I think that might have been a stone or something, just in one of the wheels rattling around. I whipped out a couple of stones that just lodged in the wheels. They haven't scratched the wheels, because I know that can happen if you get one caught between the brake caliper and the wheel. Oh, panic over. But I think that's going to be a regular occurrence with a car like this. It's so expensive, and I'm always going to have a worry at any single noise. What is it? Oh no, what could that be? I have that with all my cars. And they're a lot cheaper than this. So there's always going to be that element of like, what is that noise? Most of the time the noises from this car are lovely, but they could be very scary at other times. I think I'm all right for now. Whew. I'm in a bit of a dilemma. You see, I've done 930 miles, and if I start it, you will see, according to the car and Porsche's running procedure, 932 miles. So after that, in theory, I can take this thing all the way to 9,000 RPM. However, when I was speaking to Andreas Preuninger about this car and running it in, he said, don't listen to the manual. He said, do that 500 RPM increments every, well, he said 150 miles, and I've like narrowed it down to like, you know, reduced it a bit to 100. So in theory, I'm gonna have to wait to 950 miles and then I can do 7,000 RPM, and it's actually gonna take me another 400 miles to get all the way up to 9,000. Because to me, it seems like a bit of a jump to go from 6.5, which I'm at, all the way to 9. But I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel when the mileage clicks over to 932. Will I just floor it and experience the red line at 9,000, or will I play it safe? Ooh, decisions. Okay, so here we are, 931 miles. It's gonna click over soon to 932. What am I gonna do? Manual or Andreas? Manual or Andreas? Which way is it gonna go? 932, let's knock it down a couple. Andreas. I'm gonna do what Andreas says. Oh, no, I'm sorry to let you down. And I was so close there when I revved it, it almost went to 7. I was like, oh, should I just carry on just this one time? But I've decided not to. I'm gonna keep this car forever. I don't ever want to sell it. For my own peace of mind, it's worth just taking that extra precaution to make the engine just last as long as it possibly can. Because let's say I did rev it out to 9,000. Further down the line, something goes wrong with this car. I'm just gonna forever regret doing that. I think I'll wait another 400 miles to finally experience it. And you know what? Revving to 6.5, that's quick enough anyway. So now I'm on 949 miles, so according to my rules, when it goes over to 950, I can rev to 7,000 RPM. And I don't think I'm going to really get past that on this trip because I've only got about 24 miles to my destination where I'll be dropping the car off at. Still 7,000 RPM, we'll find out what that feels like. There it is, 950 miles. Let's do it from first gear. Wow, oh, it's so good. Now I know you're probably thinking I'm being a little bit lame by not revving it all the way to 9 when the manual says the car is now running. And yeah, I'm being cautious, but there's also another element to it. You see, I'm trying to prolong the excitement. I've quite enjoyed just, increasing the revs by 500 RPM every 100 miles. And I want to prolong that experience. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. I'm not going to buy another car like this ever again. So I'm trying to just draw out the whole process of running it in for longer. When I was a kid and it was Christmas, I didn't open all my presents first thing in the morning. I would save some for later on in the day, just to make the whole day and the excitement last for longer. And that's what I'm doing with this car. I hope you understand. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Click on the video windows to watch some more videos. Comment below as to whether you agree with me for being cautious in terms of running it in and for just trying to prolong the whole excitement of the process of running it in. And don't forget to click on my face, not this face, the other face, to subscribe to this channel because I'll be uploading a video very soon when I finally take it all the way to 9. Thanks for watching.